Hi guys, you're here with Impact San Diego. We're doing a follow-up video on striking. This is in relation to the last video we did where we talked about striking what we call from passive or with an element of surprise. So we've been getting a lot of interest in the video and we want to do a little bit of a continuation to talk about the overall mechanics of punches, maybe give you a few drills that you can work with a friend or by yourself that can improve your mechanics and overall punching ability. Let's start with reviewing the mechanics of the strike. So we talked about last time, mainly there are three components to the strike. There's the arm, that's the tool, the body, that's the delivery, and the body has two components, shoulder and hip, and a little bit of pressure from the body. So let's talk a little bit more about this. First of all, today we're punching from what we call fighting position. Fighting position, not so important right now, we'll have a separate video on that some other time. It's my fighting stance, so I have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. It gives me more stability in all directions. Right now I'm focusing on punching with my back arm, although pretty much the same applies to the front. When I'm punching, the arm is just the delivery, or the tool. It extends. What I need to do now is turn also my shoulder and hip. And when I turn my hip, I'm turning my back foot. And the last thing I do is I crunch and I press my body a little bit forward, delivering more power into the strike. I'll show you from a different position. My punch doesn't end at the target. It ends back where it came from, meaning when I punch, I gotta return. I'll show you again from here. So my arm always returns back. This gives me safer punch because I'm more protected, but also gives me more power. We can talk about that as we go on through this video. Okay, let's see the same type of mechanics, but now with a bit more target or contact, that is, on the back. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of a different angle here, what I want to show you is how each mechanical component of the strike adds not only to the power of the strike itself, but a little bit also to the distance of the strike. So let me explain this and let me show you. When I'm standing in my fighting position, I'm extending my punching arm. At this range, I cannot make contact with the back. Once I rotate my hip and shoulder, I now start making contact. And the last component, if you remember, was pressure. And the pressure of me pressing my weight, contracting my muscles, generating force into the back. So again, arm itself, rotation, contraction. Those are keys to the strike. If you use all three efficiently and at the right moment, at the right time, you get not only maximum power, but also maximum distance, which for us is crucial because remember, self-defense is not about fighting close where the attacker can pull out a knife and stab us, but to try to create as much distance as possible in a safe manner. Alright guys, so we just broke down the punch into three mechanical components: the arm, the rotation of the body, and the contraction of the pressure forward. One thing you do not want to make a mistake on is how much you press your way forward. So let me show you what's the wrong thing to do, and then I'll talk about why it's wrong and how to fix it. When I'm in my fighting stance, arm, rotation, pressure. That was wrong. What was wrong with it? I pressed so far that my balance was off. I went too top heavy and went forward. So how much is too much? Think of it like this. If my chest crosses my knee too far, I'm going to lose balance. So when I'm punching, arm, rotation, contraction, and pressure, but never to the point where my chest is too far over my front foot or front knee. If it is, then I'm falling forward, very much vulnerable for my attacker, and that's a mistake that I want to avoid. Okay, now that we broke down the mechanics of the strike, what I want to talk about now is how to make a proper fist. The fist for us is the tool that we're using to deliver maximum power into the strike. If you think about what happens when we're punching, we're taking the energy that we're generating through our punch, transferring to a target. Say target is the face of the person, it's face of the attacker. But you understand that target is not soft, you're not hitting a pillow. It's something that's going to put back resistance against your punch or transfer its own energy towards you. So if you don't know how to make a proper fist, what happens is when you hit that hard target, all that energy is transferred back towards your fist, and now you can sustain damage, like broken knuckles, strained wrist, and stuff like that. That could be certainly problematic for us. So how do we make the proper fist? In order for me to show you, I'm going to come a little bit closer so you get a perspective of a little bit more of my hand. So, first thing is like this. I'm taking my fingers, everything but the thumb, so the other four fingers, and I'm bending all the digits in towards my palm tight. When you look at it from the side, there should be no gap here. So mistakes like this, for example, is a problem. So I want a nice tight type of fist. Now what I do is I take my thumb and I put it on my index finger and slightly pull it back. So hopefully you can see from this position, this is the idea. Now, what are the mistakes that people do? First of all, mistake is thumb inside. This is a huge mistake, will result probably in a broken thumb because there's a huge gap here. It's a very weak structure. Other mistake, thumb on top. So imagine I'm hitting something and my thumb is the first to hit, more likely, again, a broken thumb. So what we want is very solid, tight structure with the thumb resting on my index finger and pulling back. Why not down? You can see from here as I bring it down, I'm opening up this structure. So here it's tight, here it's weaker. So I don't want to open it, I want to keep it tight. So the more up and back it is, the more it's protected from impact, and the more or less space I have in my fist, which is actually exactly what I want. Alright, so now that we know how to make a fist, let's start doing some drills that can improve the structure of the fist, the strength of the fist, and the strength overall of the body to help us with improving the mechanics of the punch. So now we make the fist. What we're going to do is, I'm starting on my knees. What I suggest is if you have a hard floor, put maybe a towel on the knees to give a little bit more, less impact on the wrist. If you have matted floor, this works really well. And what I do is I put my fist in front of me, and I'm lining up with the center of my body. Now, when I put my fist, I want my two top knuckles to make most of the pressure. When we're punching these two top knuckles, I was sustaining the strength of the arm. Lower knuckles are weaker, so really think two top knuckles pressing in. When they press in, as you can see from here right now, my body is not stacked over my wrist. My body's to the outside. What I want to do is stack my shoulders. Look what I'm doing. I'm stacking my shoulder so that my wrist, elbow, shoulder are all in the same line. I'm pressing my way and just holding a little bit. Of course, I can do the same with the other hand. Stack, hold, other hand up, so you're getting used to the posture of a punch. Two top knuckles into the target. Okay, now that we know how to stack our body or stack our fist, let's do some push-ups from this position on the fist to stack even more weight on this. So now we can know that we can sustain quite a bit of weight on our wrist and our fists. So push-ups. Again, two strong fists, making sure two top knuckles on each hand are pressing into the mat. From here, I'm doing to push-up position, and then do a few push-ups. If you have trouble and you have to go on the knees, it's not a problem. Definitely do it on the knees. Just make sure your torso is nice and flat, core is engaged. Alright guys, so now that we know how to do push-ups from this position, now that we have a good structure here, let's actually make some contact against something, but still from the same position on our knees. So for that, we'll use a tombstone. Okay, so here's my tombstone. By the way, this tombstone is from Rev Gear. If you're looking for good products, Rev Gear is definitely a good company to check out. And what I'm doing from here is I'm going to strike the center of this target. Now, remember, start with hands up. This is our starting position. From here, I'm going to send my fist into the target, stack my body, contract, go through the target like we talked about in the bags earlier, recoil, and return back to starting position like we addressed before. So I'll show you. You don't have to go hard. If you're new to this, go slow. But really feel like you're making contact, contracting, pressing through it, recoiling. Alright, so now let's do some more drills. And specifically the drills that we're going to do now are more designed to develop the mechanics of the strike, and specifically to isolate different parts of the body as they're working to help deliver the maximum power strike. So this one is going to be like this. I'm going to be laying on the ground. My partner is going to be standing over me holding a tombstone or shield or any type of target you have. And I'm going to be punching from my back upwards, focusing on, 1, rotation of the shoulders, 2, some rotation of the upper body. That's really just isolating only those components. So let us show you. So from here, my chin is towards my chest, head is off the ground, hands in front of me. Partner holds the pad a little bit outside of my reach, so I have to crunch a little bit, also use my core because that's also going to help me deliver stronger punches. And I'm doing one punch at a time. You notice when I'm punching, look how my arm goes, shoulder turns, I press, So I'm isolating shoulder and upper body only. Hips, feet do not move. Let's talk about the next drill. And the next drill is going to be done from a different position. I'm going to be in a position where I have one foot forward. If your right hand is suggests left foot being forward, knees bent. I'm resting on the knee of my right foot and the foot. Hands are up, chin is down. Now from here, I'm going to be punching with one punch at a time towards the target. I'll show you this in a second. And now what I'm doing is I'm still focusing on the shoulders, upper body, and now also a little bit of the lower body. So I'm isolating more and more components of the strikes, adding more to a comprehensive strike. So let me show you this with a part. So again, you're seeing arm, shoulder, pressure from the body. So now I'm getting more pressure from the hip, the core, everything is working as one unit to deliver more power, but I'm still not at a full capacity because I still have more hip motion that I can do once I stand up and more feet rotation. All right guys, so now, last drill. Last drill, we're gonna do the same type of striking, now from a fully fighting position with the left foot forward, right foot back. Now, with using all our capabilities, all our capacities to deliver the maximum power strike. I want to introduce you to Veronica. Veronica is one of our instructors here. You may have seen her videos on the YouTube channel. If you haven't, definitely check them out. Okay, so Veronica will be holding the kick shield for me. I will be standing, I'll be punching. Let me show you. One punch at a time. Think of it like this. Everything now, all the capacities are delivered towards the goal. So again, arm, rotation of the body, contraction, pressure. So now we isolate the different components to the previous drills, now put them all together and add more. The feet and the hips to deliver the maximum power punch, return back to normal. Remember not to fall forward too much like we discussed before. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, just some useful tips for you to improve your striking mechanics, some drills you can practice by yourself or with a friend. Please check out our YouTube video, subscribe to it. There's more videos, more coming. Check our Facebook account, Instagram account. Stop by in person. We're in the beautiful North Park in San Diego. And overall, thank you for your support. Thank you for the feedback you've given us. Keep it coming. The more feedback we get, the more videos we can make, the more kind of to suit your interest, if you will. So thanks a lot.